Hello beautiful souls, and new moon blessings as we move into that new moon in Leo on the 24th. It's going to be at 2 degrees of Leo. So I'm recording this on the Tuesday before, which is the 22nd. Tomorrow, the 23rd, we see Sol, our sun, moving into the sign of the Lioness, moving into Leo, followed on the 24th by that powerful new moon in Leo, where the sun and the moon, Sol and Luna, are conjunct together and really ushering in a new phase of being. So I've written quite a few notes down here, so I'm going to be referring to them. Leo is the sign of the Lioness. She's very much related to the goddess, the lion-headed goddess Sekhmet in ancient Egypt. She's very much the solar queen. She is sensuality, she is pleasure, she is embodied leadership as well, and her shadows are very much pride and vanity. So just see if any of those come up during Leo season for you, and how are you going to integrate the shadow of pride and vanity and really alchemize it within your daily life. So this new moon is very much about our self-expression. It's about our creativity. Yet we've got Mercuria, the lady, the goddess of communication, going backwards in the sign of Leo. Now, for me, this has been a very tricky Mercury retrograde. It's caused a lot of havoc with travel, with technology, with sleep potentially. Not only myself, but I've had a couple of clients message me to say how prophetic their dreams have been at the moment and how much information is really coming through. So there's a real tightrope that we're going to walk at this new moon. So we want to have a lot of self-expression. We want to be aligned. We want to be authentically ourselves. But we have this tightrope to walk where we are trying to express ourselves, yet not cause drama, not cause a lot of opposition, a lot of polarity. We don't want to create that polarity of drama. We don't want to really pour fuel on fire. We don't want to create a lot of division by us being authentically ourselves. So there's this really interesting kind of path that we need to be following at the moment. So in this respect, is we're being authentic, we're being true, we're speaking from our heart, but there's this section of us that's been really mindful that we are not inflaming situations. So what I would really say in this time, it's about a little bit of extroverted introspection. So how do you want to lead? What is your authentic truth? What is in alignment with who you are? How are you going to speak from your heart if you're in business, for example? Do you need to change your creative messaging? Do you need to reposition yourself as an expert, as a leader in your field? And we can use this time between the 24th of July and to the 11th of August just to set these intentions and then really play with them, really play in the shadow, play in a place of introspection, so that when Mercury does go direct on the 11th, give it a day or two for the usual shenanigans, you can really use the rest of this Leo season. You can harness it to step out, to be authentically yourself. So there's this real push-pull energy. So go as far as you feel comfortable at the moment without creating that drama, without creating that division, and then just play within the energy ever so slightly just to get yourself comfortable. So you're using this as almost like a little springboard, a bit of a sounding board before you really roar with courage. This Mercury retrograde as well may really reignite for you your inner creativity, your inner drive as well. If you know what house it falls within, both the new moon and Mercury retrograde, you might want to do some alchemy, some shadow work around that. If you're not sure where this new moon falls in your chart, or what house, or where this Mercury retrograde falls, I am going to open up my diary for some new moon readings. I'll mention that at the end. where we can really hone in on this. So both Maria and I on our podcast, Star Revelations, went through a huge diatribe. It was a brilliant podcast. We really went through Mercury in retrograde and we segued into some other topics. So if you want to dive deeper into this Mercury retrograde, I'd really recommend you go and listen to this much longer podcast where we really go into some brilliant rabbit holes, particularly around the moon. We recorded that a while ago. I'll put that in the comments. But what we're really thinking about this new moon is how are we going to create and balance this self-expression, this leadership, this personal empowerment, and balance it on the tightrope without causing division, causing inflammation. This new moon as well, one of the aspects I want to mention, just check my notes, is it's also really tightly opposing, so Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius, if I'm right, it's really tight opposition at the moment as well. So Pluto in Aquarius is this opposite. This is kind of pushing you out of your comfort zone, making you go and do something, looking for that change, looking for that radical transformation. So you may have this really push-pull of, well, I want to transform, but I need to do the shadow work and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to position myself. So this is where we use that Mercury retrograde. We use that period of introspection till the 11th to really go through the fires of transformation, to really rise like the phoenix, to really push forward in our leadership. And I had a brilliant conversation yesterday with somebody which just really got me thinking. So yes, we are on this ascension pathway for some of us are really listening to Goddess. It doesn't matter where you are, we're talking about the general themes, but we had a brilliant conversation around embodied leadership and doing your shadow work privately and not doing it for this word. I've written it down, I hope I get it right, performative introspection. And I really want you to think about this. I'm just segueing a little bit away from the new moon at the moment, and I want you to think about embodied leadership. How are you embodying yourself as an ascension worker, a soul mentor, a coach, a healer, new earth leader, whatever you want to couch yourself as? How are you embodying your leadership? How are you bringing forward change? This new moon is going to really highlight it for you. Are you embodying your leadership? Are you moving forward? Are you leading by example, or are you still currently outsourcing your power to another? Are you looking for another upgrade? Or are you now consciously working with all the upgrades that we have been receiving and integrating them and embodying them? The message for me personally and from Goddess, which I will share with you, was very much this morning about not chasing further upgrades, not chasing further having to have the spiritual consumerism, but to really embody your leadership, to anchor in these frequencies, to let them permeate through your bodies, through your energetic body, your physical body, your fields, and to become the living, walking example of this embodied leadership, ascended master, whichever way you want to look at it. But it is about you really standing tall and walking the talk and really being who you say you are. And when we talk a lot about performative introspection, I spend the majority of my month doing a lot of shadow work, particularly around the Scorpio moon, and I always kind of enjoy that kind of October, November time of doing the shadow work. Now, I don't always post that I'm doing the shadow work, or I might just say, oh, well, this is what I've done today, but it's not performative introspection. And what I mean by that is I'm not making a performance out of it. I'm not posting myself in tears. I'm not making a big deal of it. I'm just going away and doing it very quietly, in order that I can serve at the highest level that I am meant to be providing service for you. So I want you to really think about this, because this is something that is a theme in the collective, which is really going to come up at the moment, this kind of performative introspection for clicks, for likes, for comments, for sympathy, whatever we want to talk about it. But we need to really ask ourselves is, am I embodying the leader? Am I really leading by example, or am I doing something for sensationalism? because it's quite a hard topic to talk about. And if you're listening, congratulations. If you turned off because you're triggered, okay, well, you know, hashtag sorry, not sorry, because to be authentic, to be aligned means we have to embody our leadership, embody our gifts, and not be performative on the world stage and be a totally different person from the one that we see behind the screen to the one that we might meet in person or we might even work with. So I really want you to think about that as we get into this beautiful new moon in Leo. So my camera's winking at me, which means I've probably gone over. So I'm going to hopefully post this to various social media aspects, or it'll go onto YouTube. But as I said, I am going to be opening up on Thursday my diary for new moon readings. So these are either by WhatsApp or email. It can be an astrological reading predominantly. You give me your name, your date of birth, your location, your time, and I will do you a bit of an astrological reading plus doing some oracle cards. But if you just wanted a purely oracle card or channeled message, that's also an option. I will put the link below this either in the text or in the comments. They're £43. They are then delivered to you, so I do you a voice recording, take the pictures of your cards, and I usually WhatsApp them to people because it's a nice way of listening to introspective kind of places. I love doing that, but if you prefer to have that voice note by email, you can do as well. So all the comments, all the ways to book below, but also a link to the podcast, so you can listen to more about Mercury retrograde. And we would be so delighted if you can come over and join us on Substack as well, which is where we're having a lot more fun, and we have got some really good guests coming up. I'm so excited about them, but I can't say anything because we don't want to give the game away. Plus it's Mercury retrograde, so those recording dates could change. So much love to you all, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment, particularly around embodied leadership, performative introspection, and maybe even sharing your new moon intentions. So much love. Take care.